Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year to you all. Welcome to the second annual New Year's Day flight where we depart before the sun even rises onto the new year, watch that first sunrise of the year from the sky, and then land into the first day. Current time is 5:26 a.m. on January 1st, 2026. We are here in United Airlines Flight 1406, and this is a very special flight as we are in the LevelUp 737 V2, my first look at that airplane on this channel. The issue we're having right now is we're actually running behind. We were going to try to get out here, have the passengers boarded at 5:30. I had the sim loaded up at 5, and I was getting the thing going, and this was in the 737-900. This is my first time flying the 900, and unfortunately, the FMS wasn't working for me. I flew the 800 the other day. I know it's working, so we swapped the airplane. Just means we're looking at about a 15-minute delay here out of Dulles. The big issue is there is a pretty nasty snowstorm that's supposed to hit somewhere between 5 and 6 a.m., and it looks like on the radar it's just about to hit us. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that in a second. So we're going to Fort Myers today, 2-hour, 15-minute flight. This will be United 1406. Once again, everybody, welcome aboard. Thanks for flying with us this morning. All right, now usually I go ahead and skip this in my video, the whole boarding and power up part. However, since this is the first flight of the new year and we're in the 7.3 V2, I might as well show you guys what it's like. The land gear verified is in down position. Flaps are up. Throttles are here at idle. And if we go to the overhead panel, the switches are off, wipers are off. That's great. We can go ahead and turn the battery on. Verify ground power has good charge, and let's go ahead and flip the ground power switch on. And again, we're running just a few minutes behind, so that's why I'm going to try to keep things moving nicely along here. Position light's going to steady, logo light's going to go ahead and come on. We'll go ahead and set the IRSs to nav. I'm actually going to just make sure that the flight plan is going to work first. If I go departure and arrival, great, this is working. Okay, so I'll show you guys, maybe I'll include at the very end of the video what was going on before. Basically, this page was blank, but now it's working. Great, we're going to Fort Myers, everybody. All right, great, let's go ahead and take a look at the OFP. Make sure everything's still briefed. It should be pretty quick because it's the exact same briefing that I just did earlier. And hopefully get going here in just 1 minute. Talking about here. Here's the route and here's the radar here on Sim Toolkit Pro. It looks like the weather is just hitting Dulles right now. If we're lucky, we might be able to get out before the sim loads in the weather. I don't think that's going to happen. Also, beyond this front here, winds are picking up to 35 knots, so we're going to be taking runway 30 today. So out of a 310 at 35 knots, so according to the TAF. So again, goal is to get out before this hits. It looks like in real life it's just hitting right now. I have a feeling because of this delay, not quite going to happen. 41.7 on the payload. We're going to take 21,000 on the fuel. The reason for the extra fuel is so that if we get a delay departing Dulles for the icing conditions, if we have to de-ice or anything like that, we have the excess fuel. We don't have to worry too much. All you got to do to load this thing, it's the exact same as V1 or the previous SIBO mod. You just go to fuel weight and balance, payload, convert it to pounds first. This is the same mistake I made a second ago. All right, we're in pounds now, so now if I go to payload, 41.7 on the payload here. You can put in the fuel, it'll be 21,000. And I'm going to hold off on actually loading the passengers for just a few minutes, but I am going to go over here and call the fuel truck so we at least have that going for us. Let's go ahead and get our head down, fill out the rest of this route, and get going in a few minutes. In fact, let's fire up the AP. We'll put one fuel pump on and fire that up just so we get some warmth going when we get passengers aboard. Once again, Butters, Clutch, Kirk, and then Teams and Flask, which we already verified is in. Only restriction here is we need to be at or above 3,000 by the time we hit Butters. Top altitude will be 3,000 feet. Expect file to 10 minutes after departure. Obviously, we don't have ATC today, so we'll put 3,000 in the MCP, leave that on standby, and we'll clear ourselves higher when it's necessary to do so. Alright, perfect timing. Looks like the fueling is complete. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit start the flight leg, and that'll begin the boarding process here. The sounds of the boarding process are now included. It's basically the same as the old Zibo mod, just imported over to the LevelUp. Let's hit start flight leg, and you'll hear some people start to board. In the meantime, let's go ahead and punch the, and in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get the performance data now that we have all the fuel.
Different electronic devices may be used in airplane mode for all phases of flight. At this time, if you wish to use them after takeoff, you set
No derated takeoff or anything, and we get 143, 144, and a 152, which means I can start to set this stuff up. So 152 plus, I like to use 152 plus 20, so it'll be a 172. Heading, I'm going to select 2 runway heading, which will be 300 for departure today, and it'll be altitude of 3,000 feet, which is the top altitude for the SID. Beautiful, that's all set up. It sounds like they're just finishing up the boarding process. I can go ahead and put the transponder on. Alright folks, here's the latest weather here at Dulles. Winds are 340 at 15, gusting to 22, 5 miles of visibility, and light snow, mist, scattered 11, temperature -1, dew point -3, 29.72 on the altimeter, peak winds 330 at 31 knots. So this snowstorm's starting to hit. Let's go ahead and try to get out of here, guys. Okay, to initiate this flight, we're going to verify park and brake down here is set. We're going to go ahead and make sure ground services chocks are removed, and I can go into this too and make sure chocks people are removed. We're going to close up that forward door. We're going to hit Shift G to get detached the jet bridge, and now this flight's going to be initiated. Now that the forward door is closed, we should hear an announcement in a second as well. And I'm going to go ahead and start the pushback. Now I installed a new sound pack. Sounds like it's not going to work though for a better pushback, so I'll have to play with that later. Anyways, with the door closed, let's flip the seatbelt sign on.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in.
And
If you need anything.
seatbelt's coming on. Anti-collision light comes on. And it looks like, yep, we're still going to get the pushback. We just don't get sounds because I need to play with that sound pack. That's why you don't install things last minute right before a video. Oh well, auto brakes should be set to RTO as well. Flight director's coming on. And they're going to go ahead and start our pushback right in just a few minutes. And fuel pumps need to come on. Verified, yep, we've got fuel in the center tank, so we'll turn the center pumps on. Generators are good to go. Oh, never mind. Okay, I guess they're going to go ahead and get connected for the push. Electric pumps need to come on. Packs will come off when we're ready to start up. Igniters verified are off. I didn't think it was working for a second, but I guess it sounds like that's going to work. MCP's already set up. And let's keep going here.
Position the seatbelt tight and low and cross your lips to square at any time you are seated.
Okay, copy. He's on. Door lights out. Bypass it.
I think we're ready to go though, so let's go ahead and release the park and brake and see if we hear anything.
Copy. Park and brake release. Clear start both engines.
Alright, great. He said clear to start both engines. I heard that. So, for this, it's the same process as the old 737. We're going to verify seatbelt signs are on, hydraulics on, fuel pumps are on, anti-collision light verified is on. We're going to go ahead and turn the packs off now. Verify we're looking at the engine mode, so we're going to set to the right side, open that start valve. We see good end to rotation. And once that hits 24%, we should be good to add fuel. I'll go ahead and shut up and let you guys enjoy the sights of this thing.
Oh, just smoking. We have 2 lavatories on board, one in the back and one in the front. At no time may you form a line or congregate at the forward lavatory. Last but not least, if needed for oxygen mask, will drop.
This Boeing 737 is equipped with 4 exit doors, 2 on each side of the aircraft.
That's the parking brake. Bypass channel removed. Have a good one, guys.
Alright, guess that's it. He said have a good one, so let's go ahead and verify. We've got 2 engines are online, starters are both disengaged. Just a few items up here. Verify both generators are on and working, which they are. We'll go ahead and switch that over to gen power. APU bleed is going to come off. Isolation valve to open. Packs come back on. Probes need to come on. Anti-ice is going to stay off until either we are airborne or it starts to snow, whichever comes first. We've already got the pressurization set. I can switch the engines over to continuous. We're going to go ahead and set flaps to 5 for departure. Trim's already set up. And the systems are going to be checked. It's going to be left, neutral right, neutral back, forward, left rudder, and right rudder. Quick full box, make sure everything's working good. Speed brakes I'm going to check as well. Deployed and retracted, and they are disarmed for this departure here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and kill the APU. Taxi light and turn-off's coming on. And I believe to get out of here, let me just review the taxi diagram. Altimeters are both set. and we should get out of here in a sec. Set and good to go. So we'll get this thing moving again. I want to get out of here in a timely manner. It's currently 6 o'clock. I was hoping to be wheels off the ground by 6, but that's okay. It's still dark out, so we should still be able to see the sunrise. Hopefully just a 10-minute delay. For the departure briefing here, we've got a V1 of a 143, VR of 144, and V2 of 152. Initial altitude will be 3,000 feet for the top altitude. We'll probably clear ourselves to flight level 340 when necessary on departure. Left-hand turnout, direct to Butters.
Have a good flight.
If anything goes wrong before 80 knots, we're stopping on the runway. Beyond 80 knots, we're only stopping for an engine failure or fire. Once we hit that 143, we're committed. To take off, rotate at 144, climb out at or above 152. And just to double check, we've got 10,500 feet of runway here, so that should be plenty to get going here. Alright, that's going to do it for the departure briefing. I say we go ahead and get the hell out of here. If these fuel trucks will get out of my way, that would be nice. And I can also go into the tablet here and change the cabin lights to take off and cruise. So now hopefully if we go to the back, there we go, that looks a little bit nicer. I'm going to go ahead and turn these lights off for departure. We got to make a quick cabin announcement here. Hey folks from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We're currently number 1 for departure. Current time is 6:05 a.m. Just a few minutes behind schedule here due to the aircraft swap. Shouldn't be a big deal. We should be off the ground in no time. Just as a quick reminder though, this is a 2-hour, 15-minute flight, 34,000 feet down to Fort Myers. Weather in Fort Myers is absolutely beautiful. And I would like to just make a quick reminder that if you do enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a like. It would really help this video out. And also, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. It's a small enough channel right now where literally every subscriber counts, so it would seriously help me out a lot. Thank you very much. Sit back, relax, enjoy the trip. Thanks for flying United. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, passengers are seated. Wing lights coming on. We're going to turn the strobes on, and landing lights will be on in a second. Trim set, flap set. We can go ahead and mute the systems page. Auto brakes to RTO. Auto throttles are armed. And here we go off of 30 center. 143, 144, and then that 152. Trims are set, auto brakes, RTO. I think we're good to go here. Finals clear, the runway itself is clear. Landing lights are coming on, taxi lights coming off. And we're clear for takeoff off of 30. One thing I cannot get over is how cool this sim looks at night. X-Plane definitely beats MSFS in its night light in here. So we'll line up on 30 center. And bring throttles up to 40%. There you go, 30 center is identified. Time 11:07 Zulu. Let that stabilize itself, and now we're going to work it all the way to the green. There we go, power set. Listen to this thing roar. Airspeed coming alive. Continuing. And again, it's not until 143 that we can rotate. And V1 rotate. And that's V2. Gotta give it quite a bit of back pressure in this flight model. Positive rate gear.
Gear up.
Alright, we're gonna put LNAV on. LNAV level change.
400.
And this is going to start, now that we're beyond 400, that turnout on course. Retrimmer.
1,000.
And we'll turn that autopilot on. Command A. Beautiful. Passing 1,000. Look at this thing climb. Alright, we can go ahead and work that speed up to... oh, and we're going to go ahead and increase this as well to a little bit higher. Level change, please. Let's just set 10,000 for now. 11's fine. We'll go ahead and start working the speed up to 230, or sorry, 240. No speed restrictions on this departure, so we're good there. And again, I know that we would in real life have to level off here, but we're going to clear ourselves higher because we're not ATC. As the speed's up, let's work that first notch. Flaps up. Auto brakes can come off. Get the background light on just a little bit, just so I can see what I'm doing here. And speed's above that 2 notch, so we can go ahead and bring flaps to 1. There goes Dulles. And let's go ahead and bring flaps all the way up now. Landing gear coming off. Runway turnoffs can come off. The igniters can go back to off. Everything else is good the way it is for now. We're turning back on course direct to Butters, and we've met that 3,000 or above restriction. Beautiful. Flaps verified are up, gear is off, emitters off, seatbelt sign still on, fuel looks good, packs are on, beautiful. That was the climb out checklist complete here, and we're getting ready here to pass 4.3 out of Dulles. We've lost visual reference to the ground. Temperature's below freezing. We're probably in a cloud, so let's go ahead and turn the anti-ice on now. Doesn't seem as rough as I thought it would be, honestly. I'm not sure if the weather radar is going to work or if I need to set it up. But we're getting ready to pass 10,000. Let's go ahead and set the altitude up to our cruise of flight level 340. And with 340 set, again, once we pass that 10,000, let's go ahead and turn the landing lights off. Wing light off, logo light off, and we can increase that speed up to a 280. Alright, we're getting ready to pass 18,000 now. So once we're beyond 17, I'll go ahead and set the altimeters to standard. The only other thing I have to do is set Mach. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and wait till we have the sunrise going. Let you guys review that. There you go. Altimeter is both set to standard, and I'll set the standby one as well. Once we're at like a 0.67, probably I'll go ahead and reset this to Mach mode while we climb out. Otherwise, please, by all means, sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. We are on our way to Fort Myers. Well, we're watching the sun rise for the first time in 2026 over the skies of southern Georgia. Currently, the weather down in Fort Myers looks absolutely beautiful. Calm winds, a little bit of haze, so we'll be taking the ILS to runway 6. Otherwise, it should be absolutely beautiful. While we watch this sunrise, I wanted to make a couple quick statements. First off, on this channel, on the 2.5 years or so that I've been playing around with this and making different content, I've gotten overall positive reception, especially with these flight sim videos. Recently, I decided to dabble into streaming flight sim content, and I've got to say, it's been an absolute blast. I've gotten amazing feedback, and to the few of you that have watched those videos and decided to stick around, you guys have been absolutely amazing, and I really appreciate all of your support. I'm not sure what 2026 is going to have in store for this channel. I'm going to try to turn it into something just for the fun of it. So for any of you guys who are going to continue to support the channel, and all you gotta do is just subscribe and, you know, watch the videos every now and then, it would really mean a lot to me. I also want to add, though, that I don't want to make this just whatever I want to do. I want to make sure that if we're going to grow this channel here, that we're doing it as a community for those of you who have stuck around to this. So please, by all means, let me know what you want to see. Let me know if you have any ideas, because I alone am not smart enough to grow this into anything. That should be the goal for the channel, though, for this year, is to try to grow it into a little something, nothing huge, but something that people are going to enjoy the content of, and I can't do that on my own. So if you have ideas, by all means, let me know. Let's not make 2026 just about me here on this channel. Secondly, and this is more just geared in general towards a look back on 2025, you know, I feel like a lot of us didn't really have a great year in 2025 in the aviation industry. You know, I got lucky. Mine was okay. I got a couple of ratings. I got my multi. I got my double I. And because of that, I am very, very grateful for the year I've had. However, I know a lot of us, especially as CFIs, we've been, and a lot of them, especially both the new and the old CFIs, we've got new CFIs that can't even find a job to begin with, and a lot of old CFIs who are beyond their 1,500 hours that can't find work at the airlines, which is kind of our ultimate goal here. I'm a little bit lucky. I have a decent job. I'm kind of in that middle ground where I'm just beyond 1,000 hours. So I'm not really in a point where I need a job, and I'm not at a point as a CFI, and I'm not at a point where I'm looking for a job at the airlines. And I know for everyone else in general, it's been a tough year with the we've had a lot of incidents this year, and I think, you know, when I was younger, seeing those on TV, I wasn't really as fazed by it. Now that I'm working as an instructor, where I'm flying so much, I think it hits a little bit differently, and I can't imagine how that feels for the airline pilots that are constantly up there flying jets every day, seeing on the news when one of those accidents happen and putting yourself in those shoes. It's a feeling that I know that I haven't felt yet, and I can't imagine what that would be like. So for all of us, whether it was a decent year or a good year or a bit of a rough year, I just want to say that I think we got to keep our hopes up for 2026. I say, let's not look at this as, oh great, we've got another year of bullshit ahead of us. Let's look at this as a, hey, you know what? It's just another day, but we've got a whole new calendar year ahead of us. Let's, you know, maybe set a few goals, and not just, you know, flying goals. Let's say, you know, if we can get to the airlines, awesome, let's go do that. Or you can get a CFI job, great, let's go do that. But, you know, you can also set goals outside of flying. I think I did that for a couple things this last year in 2025, and I got some of them out of the way, and I think in general that made me a lot happier, being able to say that I've done things not just sitting in an airplane. That's just my thoughts there, and I want to share that with you guys. I really hope that we all, both in and out of aviation, just have a much better year. Let's not try to focus on, oh great, it better be better. Let's just enjoy the year as it goes and, you know, try to work towards something. That's my speech out of the way. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2026. The sun has risen, and we'll soon be starting our descent into Fort Myers. Alright folks, we are just now approaching our top of descent. I went ahead and verified our route. All the waypoints for both the Shifty 6 arrival and the ILS RWY6 are incorrectly. They've also got their appropriate altitude restrictions. Just something I've noticed. Top of descent is showing right before in-pin. I have a hard time believing we're going to make that altitude restriction, and I have it on VNAV mode. I'm going to leave it on VNAV mode because I honestly don't care. I'd rather this thing just descend at whatever it thinks is going to be most efficient until we get a little closer, and then usually that's the point where I'm saying, no, I want to do something else instead. But this could be an issue if they said, if we were on VATSIM right now and they said descend via the Shifty 6 arrival, well now I'm expected to make that altitude restriction 290 or below and above flight level 270. So that could be an issue if we were online. We're not right now, but just something I've noticed with this airplane. Overall though, I'm really liking this airplane. I think systems wise it's really not any different, at least that I've noticed, from the original 737 version 1. I'm not sure what happened with my 900 though that I tried flying this morning. The FMS just wasn't working there for the departure arrival page, and I decided it wasn't worth my time, so we switched over to an airplane that we know is working because I've test flown this before. Otherwise, sounds I really like. The PA system I like. I know it's just the Zebo one ported over, but I like it. The flight model I've noticed is definitely different, and honestly, I like it. It feels heavier. Now, granted, I've never flown a 737, so I'm not gonna claim to have experience knowing with what it's like. I will say though, it feels heavier on the controls. You'll notice I called out rotate there and started to climb out, and it took a solid few seconds with a good amount of back pressure for this thing to rotate, and that was with it trimmed out and flap set. So, you know, I think it feels heavier, and I like that. I don't know if 737 pilots in real life, they're gonna have to comment and say whether that's good or not. But personally, I'm liking the flight model so far. But those are my only comments. We're about to hit our top of descent here. Temperature +5, dew point 0, 3015 on the altimeter. So actually a little bit chilly for Florida, but hey, a lot nicer than what we've got up here in New York where I'm at. All right, there's our top of descent. I'll go ahead and see you guys in just a little bit as we get closer. Alright folks, we're already past our transition altitude. Latest METAR came out, still calm winds in Fort Myers, but we're looking at a 3016 altimeter, 6 miles visibility, so that's increasing. Great. We're just going to go ahead and brief this approach. I already verified all the points are in. We're going to be taking the ILS to runway 6 here at Fort Myers. Coming in from the south, so I put the Obel transition in, and that we might be able to intercept sooner than that. If we get down to 2500, we can intercept at Touchy. So to brief this, I've already got the frequencies put in. I need to reset this real quick, down to 10,000. Localizer is going to be on 111.5, approach course is 058, 12,000 feet of runway, should be plenty. Missed approach will be up to 1,000 feet, and then we'll make that right turn up to 2,300 feet on this VORTAC to Corfu, 10 DME and hold. We'll be following the GPS for that. ATIS is already obtained. Frequencies don't matter, we're offline today. We've got 2,400 or above for Touchy, 1,500 for Selbo. If we go out to Obel, 3,000 or above from Obel to have it. Then 2,400 for Touchy, 15 for Selbo. ILS minimum is 227. If we don't have the glide, it'll be localized minimums of 380. Field elevation here is going to be 30 feet. And the missed approach 1,000, and that right-hand turn on course. Any questions, comments, or concerns? We'll be using flaps 30 and a 149 for the VREF today. I already put that in. That should be all. Getting ready to pass 10,000 feet. I'll talk to you guys here in just a little bit as we get closer. Alright, engines are spooling down. Getting ready to pass 10,000 feet. Hopefully that speed will bleed off here in a second. We're going to go ahead and actually set you to 240 so I can get those first notch of flaps in. And let's see, I set this to 4,000. Yeah, that should be okay. So as long as this speed's down, we should be okay. 10,000 feet, landing lights coming on, wing lights coming on, engines going to continuous. Chime the cabin, let them know, hey, flight attendants, make sure the cabin's ready for arrival. Anti-ice is off, it's not required for now. And we've got the auto brake set. You know what, let's just give it a little bit of speed brake just to get us below that 250 point. And hopefully we can retract that in a second. I just need to get below the 250 point. In fact, we can use a slightly less rated descent as well. And then we should be good to go. So 250, yeah, speed check below 250. I'm going to work that first notch in. And by doing this early out, I'm going to be able to slow down. I've noticed this plane is slippery, if that makes sense. If you're doing like 250 all the way down to the descent, and then you last minute try to slow down to 200 or 180 for the approach, it does not want to slow down on you. You have to go full speed brake, and then you're going to overshoot your turn to final. It's horrible. So, all right, let's go bring flaps to 2 now. And eventually I want to be flaps 5 by the time I'm vectoring myself onto the approach here. Alright, looks like we're just about to fly off the coastline here. I went ahead and put flaps 5 in. We're level at 3. So maybe I can go ahead and just start a bit of a turn to like a 250 and then loop it around here in a second to intercept Habit. Alright, let's try around now, setting this to like a 028 and see what happens here. I gotta start to slow it down. Yeah, I think this should be okay because by the time we make this turn, it'll be basically right at Habit. Yep, there you go. It's starting to intercept now before Habit. That's great. Let's go ahead and start to reduce the speed now to 200. And as that starts to slow down, we can go ahead and get some flaps in too. Let's go ahead and tell the flight attendants to be seated for landing. Flight attendants, take your seats for landing, please. Auto brakes are set. The speed brakes are armed. We're going to go ahead and once we're below, what's the next speed? 210. We're going to bring our next notch in. Looks like that localizer's coming alive. VOR luck is armed. And that should turn me on course. Speed check below 210. Next notch of flaps coming out. Beautiful. Glide slope's coming alive. Once it stabilizes itself, let's go ahead and reduce you to a 180. Everything's looking good now. We can speed check below 195. We'll go flaps 15 as well. And that's going to be 1 dot before the glide. We're going to put approach mode armed and gear coming down. Up slows down. We'll go ahead and bug you to a VREF +5. So 149 is the VREF. We'll set you to a 154. And that has captured the glide slope. Beautiful. Turnoff's coming on. Engines look good. And we'll go bring flaps to 25. And we're 10 miles out now. Beautiful. We got 6 miles of visibility last reported. So hopefully we'll see the runway in a second. I see some flashing lights up there, so hopefully that's it. And we'll go ahead and bring flaps to 30. Speed check, flaps 30 set. And we're established on the approach here. Once again, minimum, since we're on the ILS, is going to be 227, missed approach up to 1,000, then a right turn to 2,300. So we'll set you to the missed approach 2,300. And it'll be up to 1,000. All right, before we make that right turn. Cool and good. Gear down, 3 grain, flaps set, speed brakes are armed, lights are set, autopilot set, ready to go. I'm going to, at this point, take the auto throttle myself, and I need to be careful because it was last set. My throttle was last set a little bit higher. Really no wind, so I find that I float this plane a lot. So let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit lower than what we had, than what I usually do. That VREF +5. That's 2,000 for a 227. Still looking for the runway here. I think that's it way off in the distance, but I don't want to cheat. It's out there somewhere. Again, it's only 6 miles of visibility. Maybe make that 5 since we're 5 miles out. There's VREF, put the power back in. And we'll wait till we have the runway in sight and we're within 500 feet of the DA to take the autopilot off. If we have to go missed, I am going to laugh, by the way. I think I got the runway made. Cool. So that's 1,000 before minimums. Again, once we're 500, we'll take the autopilot off.
Feet stabilized. Missed approach altitude set.
Roger, stabilized, and we've got 2,300 in the box. Beautiful. 900. And we're passing 900 now. 800. Now 700. And that's to 500 to go. I'm going to go ahead and take the airplane myself. Again, this thing flies very smoothly. I just gotta try to not float it as much as I had been before.
500.
And again, you can really just fly this thing with a trim. Kind of checking right now. Yep, okay, we're good. Watch that VREF. A little bit slow on the VREF there. So gentle pitch down because this thing will catch up on you. There you go. You see that glide? Let's give it a little more power.
Approaching minimums.
Yeah, a little bit slow here, so gotta be careful.
Minimum.
Landing. Watch that VREF here. 147 right now. Should be up.
100.
Slower. 149. All right. And 50.
40. 30.
20. I'm gonna go ahead and take the power out. Hold this off. I'm still floating this thing. Jeez, why am I floating so bad? All right. Well, it's butter, but it's long still. And there goes the nose. All right. Reverser's coming out. And that was slow on the VREF. Our reversers are out in the green. We're decelerating.
80 knots.
And I'm going to start to take some manual brakes, see if I can't make this exit here. Reversers are going to be stowed below 60. Yeah, we can make this exit. Beautiful. Well, beautiful-ish. It was a little bit off center line too there, and just long in general. All right, taxi lights coming on, landing lights coming off. Engine switches are coming off. Slow it down a little bit more so I can make this turn off and taxi back. Flaps coming up. Flight directors are off. IAS is going to be reset to 0. And auto brakes off. Speed brakes verified. Retracted. And we'll go ahead and fire up that APU as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fort Myers. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn into the gate here. Taxi light's coming off. I already switched just over to the APU power, so once we stop we can just go right into shutting down the engines, and that should work out for us. So just line up here. There we go. Make it nice and slow. Taxi light's off so we're not blinding anybody here. Keep it nice and slow. All the way to the end here. Nice and slow, and probably stop it right around here. Should be okay. Parking brake's going to be set, and we're going to kill the engines. And switch the seatbelt sign off. And verify, let's see, the wing light. Oh shit, I forgot to turn these off. I got the landing lights off, but not those. And the anti-collision light can come off now too. And let's go ahead and wrap this flight up, everybody. Well, folks, that is going to do it for today's flight. Welcome to Fort Myers and welcome to 2026. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And again, like I said before, if you enjoyed this, I am trying to grow the channel a little bit, so please, if you would, go ahead and give a like. That would be very much appreciated. Or if you didn't like the video, don't leave a like because you didn't like it, and let me know in the comments and what you thought could be better. Always trying to improve, and even if you did like it, you're welcome to leave a comment and say, hey, look, I liked it, but here are some things you could have done better. That's totally fair as well. Don't know why we're loading the bags right now, but that's okay. I don't really have too much of a debrief. Pretty smooth flight. I just need to stop landing this thing so long. And you know, to be fair, in my defense, we were below VREF on final that time, and we still floated. So maybe it's a flight model thing. Maybe I'm not flying it right. You know, could always be a skill issue. I don't know this thing, so who knows. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Like I said, let me know in the comments below, and if you like this kind of content, subscribing really helps. Every subscriber matters at this point. So everybody, have a good one. Take care. Enjoy your New Year's. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Have a good one, everybody.